Well, most people know that great execution makes all the difference. Most people know that ideas are common. Lots of people have great ideas. If you don't know that, you'll learn that before too long. It's really what you do with the ideas that counts. So, great execution, if great execution is critical to scaling your company, to taking whatever idea you have and making it really big, then it's great to learn three big things. Three big things that make for great execution is what we want to learn. So, what are they? What are the three big things? If you've got drama, if your profitability, net profit is low, it could be that your execution is off, right? If your time's getting all chewed up, if your team's not working together well, that's all about great execution. So, what are these three big things? It's really three big things. And you could keep like going back anytime things are off. Think about these things. So, first of all, setting priorities. Have you set a few priorities? Have you stopped, paused, either individually or with your team, and said, what are our key priorities right now? What's the most important thing? What are a couple of other things? If you were in the practice of always knowing what was number one for the quarter, for the week, for the day, and reflecting on that on the regular, then you'd be like heads and heels above. Now, if you get the number one thing established and that's held, aligned, and supported by your whole team, well, then we're way up. Now, you got the number one thing, you got a set of priorities. Maybe you have three priorities total, as many as five. Don't go beyond that, right? What are the five big things maximum? But we really want to know what's number one. And then a great thing to push for is top three. So, number one and top three, that'll make a big difference. What are the priorities, right? Then you can talk about how to make them better. We'll talk about that in a future time. The next thing, though, is keeping them visible. So we want to have metrics and dashboards to show us how we're displaying. That could be as simple as a whiteboard. It could be a Google Sheet. It could be any number. We have purpose-built software, the Scaling Up Scoreboard. Lots of ways to do this, but we want to keep a few metrics, not a million metrics, but a few metrics that help us focus the company and keep them visible, right? Somewhere where we can see them and interact with them, which is why whiteboards are so great. Whiteboards, online tools, we have the purpose-built one, Scaling Up Scoreboard. That's the second thing, numbers and dashboards, right? The visibility to the progress. The last thing is the meeting rhythm. So we set our priorities, we keep the progress on them visible with some kind of dashboard with a few numbers and that are well designed. And now we have to look at them regularly. We have to talk about them. We have to engage them. So, what is that all about? Every day, you should have a daily huddle. Once a week, you should have a weekly meeting where you tackle big issues and note your progress. So, the daily huddle, you just get in sync. The weekly meeting, you see how we're progressing on quarterly priorities. And then once a month, maybe you have an all hands meeting. Once a quarter, you reset priorities, right? This is the meeting rhythm. So, do you have a regular, well run meeting rhythm? You can get so much time saved if you just run great, well run meetings, a few minutes every day, and then some meetings on Monday or Tuesday that get you in sync. 60 minutes, 90 minutes, maybe. You can eliminate so much other stuff if you do that really well. Now, you want to tackle the big problems. You want to focus on the most important things, not just do updates around the room. We'll have another conversation about what makes it. So, three big things: priorities, metrics and dashboards, and your meeting rhythm. That is what really is at the core. Now, there's other things. We'll talk about them as we go over the next few weeks, but those are the big three things that you really want to focus on. If you just did those, you'd be heads and heels above everybody else. Hope that's helpful. We'll talk to you again soon.